PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to December and welcome to PACTV Community News. Tonight we bring you to the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce's Business of the Year dinner, and we stop into the League of Women Voters Water Forum in Plymouth.
PCN takes you to a unique training session from the Plymouth Philharmonic as they get ready for their wonderful Holiday Pops concert. And we attend an interfaith Thanksgiving service that happens every year.
We stop into a craft fair in Duxbury and a pie-making event in Kingston. Then we head back to Pembroke with the Firehouse Pantry Season of Giving.
Town Talk brings Kingston's town administrator to the set, and we begin in Pembroke with a wonderful business being honored. Every year, the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce honors its Business Member of the Year with a dinner to commemorate its achievements. Criteria for the honoree include the following: 1, chamber membership for at least 2 years. 2, a business in good standing for at least 3 years. 3, a business that displays involvement in its community. 4, one that demonstrates that it holds its employees in high esteem, and a business that uses Pembroke as a resource for growth. This year's award winner was the British Beer Company.
What we do is we send out an email to let all our members know that they have a chance to nominate who they feel is worthy to be Business of the Year. And we compile all the nominations, and this year we had 8 different members that were nominated. And the British Beer Company had comments that really stood out, like how well they treat their employees, what they do for the community in terms of helping to raise funds, whether it's the little guy biking in the Pan Mass Challenge or somebody running for the Jimmy Fund.
I live in Pembroke. I've lived here since 1998. My kids go to school here. I know a lot of people in the town, and if they asked me, Kim, do you want to transfer to another one, I would say no, because I think that is something special that we offer. When people come in, you know them by name. Not that I wouldn't get to know other people, but we're a chain, but we're not a chain. And that's, I think, the best part about the BDC. I've been there 9 years. I just took over as GM about 3 months ago, so that made it even more special, because it shows that I'm doing something right. I felt like we really enjoy getting out there. We like talking to the people, getting the people to come in, and that's what a British pub's all about. So we're really, really honored.
I think it's vital for any small town to be vested in the small businesses in that town, just as it's vital for those businesses to become a fabric of the community and give back to the community. And that's something we've tried to foster with the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce going back over the last few years. We put on so many different events that has one primary purpose, and that is to get our members in front of the buying public and make it a community effort in terms of people buying what they need in Pembroke and people doing their business in Pembroke. And I think we're making some significant strides.
It's a great award, and I'll be the first to tell you, as somebody who worked at the British Beer Company in Sandwich, I was there for 8 years. I was a bartender before I was a newsman.
Wow.
And yeah, I will admit, they do treat their employees great. In fact, I ran into one of the owners at the supermarket the other day, and I felt like I had to tell him how much fun I had as a bartender there and how much I was able to be myself and how well they treated their employees. And I think it kind of boosted his spirits, but I had to tell him, it's like, I'm not saying this just to blow smoke. I mean, it really was. So they're definitely a well-deserving company.
That's nice. That's so nice. And it's so great that the Chamber recognizes different organizations every year, and that the British Beer Company does a lot in Pembroke, and good for them. We're very happy for them.
The Plymouth Area League of Women Voters hosted a forum to address the availability of water for Plymouth residents in the future and its cost, among other issues. As pressing as the issue of water is, the meeting wasn't all doom and gloom. The panel of experts there were able to address the major issues facing the region and help explain what changes can be made to reverse course.
Well, we were asked to do a informational meeting from the League of Women Voters to inform people about the importance of water, drinking water issues, particularly water resources, the saving of water resources, protection of water resources, particularly with, we're in the middle of a drought right now, and with the other issues within the town, including the sewer issues with the failure of the sewer main. So it's more of an informational thing to give people some baseline knowledge and then to answer any questions they may have. This is probably the fourth strongest drought or fourth most severe drought we've had probably since about 1960s. There was one in 64, one in the early 80s, 64, 67, one in the early 80s, one in the early 90s, and then this one. One thing good that through the reduction in water use that we've had over the years, low flow toilets, cleaning up leaks and stuff like that within the main system, within the distribution system. Actually, we're coming through this drought pretty well, considering how little rain we've had. If this were probably in the 20, 30 years ago when people did not have those water-saving devices, it would be a lot more challenging. We have had a lot of problems, with availability of water for, in this town, cranberry harvesting and other issues, but we're making through pretty well considering. I hope that people will come and get a baseline knowledge of what's going on with water, some of the issues that surround water within the Plymouth Carver aquifer, not just within Plymouth, but the larger aquifer system, and spark some questions that they may have, long-standing questions, to help them better understand the issues within the system, what they may be able to do to minimize their impacts on the water system, and other actions that they may be able to take to do that. It's my understanding that the League of Women Voters is sponsoring this meeting, and it's open to the entire public. Anybody that wants to come along is more than welcome to come.
The Duxbury Art Association held their annual craft fair at Duxbury High School. Lots of local artisans got a chance to show off their work, which was all handcrafted. PCN stopped in to get a closer look.
This is a wonderful, wonderful arts and crafts show. This is one of the premier shows of the South Shore. The Duxbury Art Association puts on the show annually, and it funds a lot of the work that they do. They handpick and jury the artists, the artisans that are here. And we have done the show for many, many years. So we have a returning group of people, customer base. Everybody knows this show in the South Shore. Mary Beth and Amy, her sister, are the two people who are running the show this year. Mary Beth started it all, and she's put a lot of hard work and effort into organizing this show. And they do everything from the jurying process to laying out the crafters, to organizing the admission, to putting out signs out in the street, and doing publicity, and they've done a really wonderful job. I've been making jewelry for over 40 years. This is our 40th year in business as Scarabocchio, and every piece is handcrafted with hand tools. We don't manufacture anything. Everything is sort of one of a kind, and we like it like that. We use precious metals like sterling silver, 14-karat gold filled, or dichroic glass that I've made. And anything that we've made, my business partner's name is Patricia LeGrand, and we've been business partners for 40 years. This is our business.
Duxbury Art Association annual craft show. And it's a terrific event. A lot of local artisans. Everything here is handmade and beautiful. It's a terrific opportunity to buy a Christmas present for a family or loved one. 14 years ago, I started making birdhouses. I think about the general shape. The proportions are very, very important to me, and I want something to look charming. I want something to look English country garden nestled, to be beautiful when nestled in your garden. And so I start out with a piece of paper and a pencil, and I draw up what I have in mind, and then I think about what types of materials are appropriate for the design that I've chosen.
Again, I have to re-mention, because of the quality of these items, it's a show I'm proud to be part of, and to bring my customers here, and they share their interest with all the other people. I highly respect the artisans that do this show.
How would you like to get up on stage and crack a whip while sleigh bells played during the pops? Okay, it's not a real whip, but it sure sounds like one, and it's a pretty big deal to be the person that gets to do it. In fact, it's such a big deal that each year, the Phil auctions off the chance for one lucky person to be the guest whip each year. Of course, this person has to be trained on the proper technique and timing. So we met with the student and teacher for this very unique story.
So the technique is simple. You can't make a mistake. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 or 12 years ago, when I was first playing with the fill, we were talking about the gala, and we were talking about ways to make money. And Stephen Karyodanis, the conductor, always had a raffle item to have someone conduct the orchestra, and they always conduct a sleigh ride. And I said, Stephen, why not also raffle off the opportunity for someone to bid on playing the solo whip part in sleigh ride? I could teach it. It could be a kid, it could be an adult, it could be anyone who supports the fill could come in and be the solo whip player with the solo conductor. And it was born that day, and we've been doing it ever since.
I went to the gala that the Plymouth Phil has. It's a fundraiser, and one of the auction items was to be the guest whip. And I said to myself, who wouldn't want to be the guest whip? It sounds like so much fun. And I don't like getting up in front of crowds, but I've really tried to push myself, and this is kind of the ultimate, so I thought it would be a lot of fun. So that's why I wanted to do it. Plus it helps, fundraising for the orchestra.
The technique is to play the whip solo in the sleigh ride. And there really is no technique. It's really just the whip is 2 boards that you just play them together. It's about playing them at the right time. The technique is easy. Getting it exactly the right time is the hard part.
Last time I played an instrument was in 8th grade, so that was a long time ago. So I don't remember how to read music, but I'm sure I'll have a very good teacher who's very good at what he does, and he knows how to teach people who aren't as great at music as he is. So I'm sure it'll come out fine.
There are 7 whip notes in the sleigh ride. There are 7. 6 of them fall on the beat. And that's the easy part for me to teach. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 6 of them that fall on the beat. And then there's 1 of them that falls on the offbeat. And that's always the hardest one to teach. So I will start with the easy ones when I teach, and they'll gain some confidence that this is okay. Then I'll try to teach the tricky one, and that happens in the middle of the piece.
What I'd like to walk away with is to make sure that I did the whipping at the right time. So if the whipping's done at the right time, I'll be thrilled. It's such a great song, and it's such a great time. Everybody has such a great time. I've been to Holiday Pops for many years, and I really, really enjoy it. I want that beautiful song to stay the beautiful song, and I want to whip at the right time.
1 and right. Perfect.
All right, I'll admit, I am the guy that doesn't like any holiday music, but I love Sleigh Bells. I love that song. In fact, I thought you and I were going to be singing it when we came out of that.
I don't think so. I would be so nervous that I did the whip at the wrong time. I would just be so nervous.
Not with him. He
I
walks
know,
you right through it. It's
but
perfect.
You get on stage and it's the night and the people and I'd be afraid to screw up. Anyway, moving on. In November of 2014, the South Shore Locavores hosted their first pie marathon night back when they were over at the Beale House in Kingston. They brought in a decent-sized crowd, but it was mostly members and a few of their friends. The crowd grew in their second year when they moved to the Kingston Council on Aging. And this year, the turnout was off the charts. The plan was to make 76 apple pies for the Greater Plymouth Food Warehouse. We're pretty sure they exceeded their expectations. Brian brings us the story.
Just how many people does it take to make a few apple pies? Well, if you're taking part in the South Shore Locavores annual pie-making marathon, it seems to take more every year they do it. And even though the event is held in Kingston, this crowd was made up of folks from all over the South Shore and covered every age range from kids to seniors.
Word spreads very quickly. I know there are people from a number of towns here. I live in Bridgewater. I know there are folks from Hanson, they're from Whitman, from Plymouth, Kingston. Word has spread. This is a fun place to be, and it's a great event. And tonight, I'm not a great judge of numbers. Over 100 people, I think, are here. And we will definitely make at least 76 pies.
Even if it wasn't 100 people, it sure sounded like it, and everyone had a station to work at. Kind of like a pie-making assembly line. In the kitchen, if you could squeeze in there, that's where you find the apple peelers. Just outside the kitchen is where all the seasoning takes place. Apples are delicious on their own, but if you want that otherworldly apple pie flavor, it's got to pass through the seasoning station. From there, it's onto the rolling station. These are your unsung heroes, taking 76 wads of dough and using some elbow grease to roll out the perfect pie crusts. The next stop is where things get creative. The crusts are placed in pans and filled with the seasoned apples and eventually covered with the crust top. Here, the workers are given artistic license to put on their signature design. And that takes us to our last stop. The packaging station might not have the same pizzazz as the rest of the assembly line. That shouldn't undercut its importance. Once the pies are packaged here and given the nutritional labels along with cooking instructions, they're taken to the Greater Plymouth Food Bank to be frozen and eventually given out as part of a Thanksgiving meal to families in need. And while the Pie Marathon night may get the headlines, donating food items to the food pantry is something the locavores like to encourage at every meeting.
One of the things that we've tried to do, and this has been a part of the social locavores and the foodie group, we call ourselves the foodie group also, is to give back. And every week when we come, there's no charge to participate and to come to any of the programs. And we have a different program each month and a different theme. But people are encouraged to bring an item for the food pantry. I mean, so all along, we are collecting and sharing from our own bounty.
A community event like this is also a great chance to bring together all age groups united behind one common cause.
It's a fun way to spend an evening. It's a great project. And, you know, I don't know, we have so much to be grateful for that it's good to be able to share.
And it looks like the record number of people that showed up cranked out a record number of pies, because at last count, there were 85 pies that were made tonight. Reporting from the Kingston Council on Aging, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
There's a big barrel over there, I think.
After 1 year of being in business, the Pembroke Soup Connection at the Firehouse Pantry in Bryantville is running at full steam, helping South Shore families in need. We dropped by after a delivery from the Boston Food Bank to see how things are shaping up heading into this holiday season. Driving past the old firehouse on Route 27 in Bryantville, your first thought may not be to stop in and do your grocery shopping there for the week. In fact, you may not even realize that the building there is operational as you speed on by. But if you're one of the over 500 South Shore families in need, you're well aware of its existence. The Pembroke Soup Connection relocated here to the Firehouse Pantry in the fall of 2015, and it's been an everyday endeavor to keep the shelves stocked. The group has partnered with the Greater Boston Food Bank. We stopped by on delivery day as the volunteers scrambled to put everything in its right place, even if it's only temporary.
See all the food that came in today? We're going to get wiped out of it tomorrow. 528 families. Everything that you saw that came in today, and then some, will pretty much be gone by 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
On this day, the volunteers moved like a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always this smooth.
We started out by everybody doing everything every day, and we've all now broken down into what we really are good at. We've got volunteers here that pick up the food from the Greater Boston Food Bank, and they bring it here and stock the shelves. We have other people that come in and clean the firehouse every week, and most of the people that are volunteering, and especially today, started out by using this pantry.
Many of the food items we saw here this time around were centered around the holiday season. But as far as the overall volume of food being delivered here, that doesn't change much, no matter what time of year it is.
As far as the holidays are concerned, hunger doesn't take a holiday. There are a lot of people hurting out there, and the people here recognize that. They recognize that some people, are just a car repair bill away from total disaster. And so they understand, so when the people come in to use the pantry, they're greeted by people that truly understand why they're here.
And while the holidays are a great time to make donations, this is a year-round operation, and with so many people in need, any time of year is a good time to be generous. Reporting from Pembroke, I'm Brian Sullivan for PCN.
Our commonalities outweigh our differences. That's the message that the Plymouth Area Interfaith Clergy Association has been sending home for decades now, leading up to the Thanksgiving holiday. The night they host the event has changed over the years, but the message is just as true today as it was 50 years ago.
We come together so that we can offer our gratitude and offer our concerns for our community and our nation. I would say that all of the faith communities that take part in this probably marked Thanksgiving in some way over the past weekend. But this is when we come together and we get to hear from each other. Tonight, Rabbi Silverman from Temple Beth Jacob will be speaking. We also get to do a little something to help our community. Our offering tonight will be for canned goods for the food pantry and also money that will go to the Plymouth Task Force to End Homelessness.
Well, it's very important to me because Unitarian Universalism invites any faith to come to its church. Each person's responsible for their own theology. So I love getting together with ministers of different theologies and faiths and talking shop.
What makes it Interfaith is that we try and draw readings from different traditions. We have an Ojibwa prayer. We don't have anyone here tonight, to my knowledge, that is Ojibwa, but we do certainly have Native Americans in the Plymouth community. We have readings from the Hebrew Bible. We have readings from the New Testament. We just try and have different voices. Sometimes we've had multiple voices in a service in terms of the message for the night, but tonight it's just the rabbi speaking.
Well, messages we hope our government starts to take care of people more than fighting wars all over the world. We need to do something about enlarging the middle class, which is shrinking. People that weren't poor before are now becoming poor as the economy changes. But I still believe that there's a lot of hope. If we look at all the different religions and just talk about the word love, we're all talking pretty much about the same thing. So we have much more in common than we have in differences. So we like to just encourage people to that commonality.
I often find that I'm so energized by interfaith services, whether we're coming together because something difficult and hard has happened in our nation or in our world, or whether we're coming together for a night of celebration, which is what tonight is and should be. It just is very empowering to come together in this way. We don't see these moments of unity as much as we'd like to.
Town Talk today brings Kingston's Town Administrator Robert Fennessy back to our set. Welcome back, Robert.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And this will be the last time we have you this year.
Unfortunately, yes.
We'll see you again in 2017, which sounds really weird.
It really does. It really does.
It does. Okay, so we just went through, a couple weeks ago we had Veterans Day, and then we had Thanksgiving last week, which was a wonderful holiday for everyone. And you're doing something special in Kingston for the veterans this year. What are you doing?
Yes, at the town hall, usually we collect food for the veterans and put together packages of food to send out. And this year it was an idea to do something a little different and collect supplies for the families. So we're looking for hats, gloves, toiletries, detergent, and soap and other things to put together these kind of packages that would help the family, totally, the full family. So I hope everybody's generous and comes to the town hall and drops off something that's right in the foyer.
Now, is this for the families that are home, or are these being
for
shipped
the
to the
families
veterans?
at home.
The veterans' families that are at home. Okay,
Correct.
that's a great
And
idea.
they all received the turkey too at Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's
which is
wonderful.
a nice thing. So.
That's awesome. Okay, now you have something going on at the Adams Center. Now, first tell me, what is the Adams Center?
The Adams Center is the old public library, and
Okay.
it went through a major renovation about 5 years ago. And it's now a historical site, but it's also a cultural site. And we're using that, bringing in different poetry and readings and other things. And this year, for Christmas, they're putting together 2 programs. One is a Celtic Christmas with the Lindsays.
Okay.
And it's on Sunday, December 4th.
Who are the Lindsays?
The Lindsays is a group that sings.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not Lindsay Wilson, Selectman.
Okay.
It's another group of
I'm
Lindsays.
sure he'll appreciate that.
And that's on the 4th
All right.
at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a great time to come down and have a little spirit, Christmas spirit.
Okay.
And again, on December 11th at 7:30 p.m., there'll be a Christmas carol. It'll be a one-man show at the Adams Center, and that'll take place at 7:30 p.m. And for tickets to both of those events, you can go to or contact the Kingston Library
Okay.
at 781
Yeah.
585 0517.
Okay, so Kingston
Okay.
Library to get both things that are happening
Right.
at the Adams Center.
And it's very reasonable cost to go. So
Okay, good thing for the families to
it
do.
really is.
All
I
right.
mean, it's and again, I'll give you that feeling of the holidays.
That's right, and that's what we all need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're in holiday mode in Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
So what other things are going on in the town between now and the end of the year?
So the big event in Kingston, and since I've been here, I'm still amazed that it goes on. It's a lot of planning. It's called the annual luminary display.
Okay.
And the streets are shut down in the center of town, and they line the streets with these luminaries of these bags with fire,
Yeah.
with candles in
Yep.
it. And it's beautiful just to walk down. A few years ago, there was actually a little snow going on.
Oh, that must have been
and
gorgeous.
it was unbelievable.
So no traffic.
So no traffic. 5 o'clock they start shutting off the roads.
Yeah.
And 6 o'clock at the town green it kicks off with the lighting of the tree
Okay.
and music. And then many of the churches along the way will be open for people to go in and visit and see their displays. The Reed Center, which is a recreation center, will have fun and games for the kids, food and drink for everybody.
Right.
No alcoholic drinks, but food and drink for everybody. And the Adams Center will actually be reading A Christmas Carol the night before Christmas.
Which is a classic.
Which is a classic.
Yep.
And they'll also have hot cocoa and cider and things.
Great.
So it's a great family event. If you haven't gone to this yet
Yeah.
in the past 5 or 6 years, go down, spend some time. You see all your neighbors.
Do you have a huge
all your
turnout
friends.
for this?
A great
You
turnout.
must, right.
A great and all kinds of weather. It
Yeah.
was raining one time. It was snowing one time. It was
but
clear one
people
time.
still come.
And it was
Yeah.
packed.
And having the little lights are it just makes such a really cool mood.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's great.
Bring your camera. Bring your kids and your grandkids.
Okay, and what date is that again?
That is on the 17th, Saturday the 17th.
Saturday the 17th. Okay.
And again, so you can park at the library, at the Reed Center, and other areas, but the main roads will be all shut down.
Okay. So lots of holiday
Lots of holiday
wonderfulness
cheer
in
to
Kingston.
start.
That's great.
Yep,
And
that's what we're all about.
That's right. That's right. And it was a good year for Kingston.
It was.
2016 was a very good year.
Yep.
And we were so happy to have you a number of times here.
Yeah,
And we will
yeah.
continue this tradition next year.
Yeah, I enjoy being here. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Playback times and links can be found at PACTV's new designed website, pactv.org. Check it out for information on this show and others. PCN is also on YouTube, and be sure to follow us on social media for updates and links to stories. Stay tuned, a new PCN Life is coming up right away, and next week PCN is going live at the Spire for our 200th episode, but on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. instead of Thursday. You can watch live on our channel or through Prime at pactv.org. Congratulations to all for the 200 episodes we've had. It's been a great 4 years of local stories, and we look forward to many more.